Alright, before you guys start slamming your keyboards and leaving hate comments, what the hell? Highschool DXD is not a GOAT? How can that be in the GOAT discussion of all anime? Let me explain myself, and hopefully by the end of this video, you might agree with me. But when you think of one of the GOATs in anime, these shows are always in discussion. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Attack on Titan, Death Note, the godfather of all anime, Dragon Ball, and even one of the big threes, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. But today, I'm gonna be on the side of all my cultured brothers and sisters out there and argue that Highschool DXD should be in the GOAT discussion of all of anime. Bro, you did not just say Highschool DXD is the GOAT of all anime. Why are you dressed like that? Yeah, I did. So what of it? How? Let me explain to your small little brain. It's not small. It has titties. Actual good plot and great characters. Great lore. It has titties. Underrated world building. Did I mention it has titties? Bro, you're literally not thinking with this head, but you're literally thinking with this head. Yeah, and that's the correct way of thinking things. I believe we should all think like that. You're ridiculous, bro. Legit, all you think about is fucking titties. God, ridiculous, man. You're lost. But first, let me talk about the premise of the show. On MyAnimeList, high school student Issei Hyodo is, run-of-the-mill pervert who does nothing productive with his life, beeping on women and dreaming of having his own harem one day. Things seem to be looking up for Issei when a beautiful girl asks him out on a date. Although she turns out to be a fallen angel who brutally kills our main character. However, he gets a second chance at life with beautiful senior student Rias Gremory, who is a top class devil, revives him as her servant, recruiting Issei into the ranks of the school's occult research club. I know when you hear the synopsis of this show, your first reaction is, bruh, this is just a normal harem anime. This show is just for the cultured fans out there. Bro, this show has no story or plot. It's just titties. You're wrong. This show is more than that. Yes, it has a lot of those harem tropes that, we're used to seeing now in this day and age. It also has a lot of other aspects that many other harem shows don't have. The lore and its interesting characters. Highschool DxD's world is so underrated when it comes to anime. You follow three different factions, the main factions, which is the devils, the angels, and the archangels. But while you're watching the series, you realize that the group that you thought were the good guys are also the bad guys as well. We all have this mindset of, oh, the devils are bad, angels are good. But then you realize, there are good devils in the show, but there are also pretty crappy angels out there as well. You have the archangels, which majority of them are pretty shitty. But it doesn't stop there. Highschool DxD's lore also has mythical cats, Norse and Greek mythology. It has like Thor, Loki, Zeus. Chinese mythology, they have Son Goku in the show, which is pretty lit. And they even have dragons. But what's also cool is that our main character Issei has the power of the Red Dragon Emperor, while another character in Albion has the powers of the White Dragon Emperor. Basically, in this universe, you can say that these guys are kind of the most powerful in the series, especially Issei, who's pretty fucking OP when you go further into the light novel. Now let's talk about some of the key characters. I don't want to go over a lot of the female ones specifically because in the future I'm planning on making a top 10 video of them soon. But let's talk about our main character, Issei. Bro, Issei is the GOAT, man. The great thing about Issei's character is that he can be, your typical pervy character one minute, but he could be the badass Red Dragon Emperor character the next. And we all know that harem MCs are the most annoying, unrealistic characters out there. I'm looking at you, Ichika from Infinite Stratos. Majority of these harem MCs always play that stupid role, right? Oh, the clueless MC that doesn't know the girls are into him, or they have just some stupid excuse of not really doing anything with them, or they're even just too much of a bitch to do it. The great thing about Issei is that he ain't no bitch. He's actually a dog. Most of the time, the reason why he's not doing whatever it is like further with the female characters is that he actually has a reason for it. And sometimes when he actually is in the mood, actually about to do something, sometimes some other character walks in on him doing it, indirectly cockblocks him. He actually has a good reason, has to do with the love that he has for the main female lead, which is like, that's normal. And now we went over his character. Let's move on to the female lead here in Rias Gremory. We can all agree that Rias is probably one of the GOATs of female anime characters. If you don't agree, there's probably something wrong with your brain and you should probably get it checked. I'd say the one thing about Rias that many other harem shows fail to have is that she actually has personality. Throughout the show, you see many different forms of her. She's caring to others, mainly her occult research club members. She's competitive when it comes to a lot of the raiding games that they participate in. We all know she's in love with our main guy, Issei. And she's not a pussy when it comes to showing her feelings to him. I think a lot of times we do see the anime MC trope of them being a bitch. Same goes for the female lead too. So there's a lot of shows where both of them are pussies and it's just so annoying. You know, a lot of times the relationship just stays stagnant for the whole series. In the end, you're like, why the f did I watch this show? I mean, even some of the really good shows, kind of like My Dress Up Darling, like, don't get me wrong, I love that show, but it's kind of the point where you watch halfway through the season, nothing really happens, and it's just kind of puts you off a little bit. But with Rias, their relationship progresses as you watch the 4 seasons of the show. In the end, this show needs to be in discussion of GOAT anime for what it's done for the anime community. Let me explain. Let me dive into another example here, and it's gonna be NBA. When you think of GOATs in the NBA, many fans in the NBA community argue it could be either LeBron James. Come on, man! That's too easy! Which, that's my personal choice. Some people say Michael Jordan, mainly the older heads. And there are a few fans that argue that Steph Curry is the GOAT of the NBA. And the reason why there are many people who think all these different players for the GOAT discussion is because of the impact these individual players had in the game of basketball. You know, many would agree being a GOAT in a sport is the impact that one player has made throughout their career. In the end, it's all opinionated. You can argue for each one, and I wouldn't really be mad. And this relates to Highschool DXD as a GOAT for what is done in the anime community, being the pioneer ecchi harem show. Obviously, it wasn't the first show to do it, but it was the first show that had a huge impact. It was so damn good and popular that you had a bunch of knockoff versions of it trying to replicate the same success as Highschool DXD. They knew what they were doing, and they really capitalized on it. But I do hope after watching this video, you as the viewer will have more respect for Highschool DXD than before you watch this video. Try not to be such a anime critic when it comes to watching these type of shows, but instead maybe just enjoy it from a cultured point of view. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys liked it. I am soon gonna make a top 10 hottest female characters in Highschool DXD soon. So hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below what you guys think of Highschool DXD. You know what, man? After hearing all the points you said, I think I agree with you that Highschool DXD should be in the GOAT discussion. Well, thank you. I'm glad you came to your dumb little senses from before. Yeah, I think some of the main points I agree with you specifically is, you know, the lore of the show, it's great characters, you know, the titties. I think, yeah, I mean, you really changed my viewpoint of what the show really is and trying to be. And bro, what the hell? Well, that's awkward.